Welcome back to another episode of Perma POWERTALK. I am Fred Rittenauer, a local RSM here at Perma that covers the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida. And today I have the honor of sitting with Wes Cash from Noria.
Yep.
How you doing, Wes?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here. You got a lovely headquarters here. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We definitely have utilized it a lot this year. It's great to have everybody in for these type of events, to not only have breakout sessions, but also to show them our new warehouse, which from what I've heard, I wasn't here to see the old one, is a massive upgrade.
No, it's been great to meet some of your partners, meet more people at Perma, and see what you guys are up to, because it's pretty spectacular to see what the future holds.
Yeah, very interesting. We had conversations this week about Industry 4.0 and just how the industries are changing and evolving with the technology and things that are coming out. But I want to take this time kind of just to dive into all things lubrication.
Sure.
That you are what some call an expert in, and I would agree, because like you said earlier in this, it's that the industry is changing, things are changing, so are lubricants. Like, it's wild to think that these things have so much to them, where once, whether it was a grease gun or our canister back in the day, the classic, nobody would think that there would be connectivity in those to be able to redo a dashboard and stuff. So I got a few questions for you today, but the first one that I want to start off with is, what do you think the future of lubrication looks like?
Man, I mean, it's such an open-ended question, right? It's very broad. I mean, you're seeing advancements through the whole gamut of lubrication. Starting with the lubricants. Lubricants are changing. They're lasting significantly longer than they have. Additive technology is advancing. You're able to stress the lubricant in other ways and not have it fail. But you're also seeing things that are more biodegradable, safer for the environment. So it's great to see that. Energy conservation being huge, right? Greases are changing. Base oils are changing. Everything's moving. The application side, very much so, advancing. You mentioned, having things that are connected and having things that are more data driven. And I think that's where the industry wants to be, right? To be more prescriptive of what's going on. Now, can we apply predictive technology everywhere? Right now, no. I mean, there's a kind of a cost of ownership, whenever it comes to throwing sensors on things, throwing automated systems on everything. But you're starting to see more and more adoption. And as these things come to market, people are more and more accepting of them. When you think about, trusting, in Perma's case, like an automatic lubricator, some people are very afraid to, switch from a manual grease gun to an automatic lubricator, because it's like, no, I mean, my technician's going out there, they're checking it. I know it's good to go if they're going out there and greasing it. But they're also driving a vehicle that probably doesn't have a dipstick for their transmission to check the fluid. So we're fine accepting, sensors to do some things and automation to do some things, but it doesn't make the leap into industry all the time. And I think you're starting to see more and more adoption. So the future, I think it's going to be more data-driven, more prescriptive. You're going to see lubricants lasting longer. You're going to see machines lasting longer. I'm very bullish on what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited for it, because, again, there's so much changing just as a whole all around us. And so being able to pick these things out that resonate in the fields that we play in, or hearing how other industries are doing something and thinking more abstractly, like, okay, how can we incorporate this into our technology or our solutions, greases, oils, whatever it is, to just continue to push, so that way the industries that we support or customers we support have constant uptime instead of downtime.
There you go.
So what do you think some of the biggest misconceptions around lubrication and the devices that are releasing these lubrications into the points? What do you think the biggest misconceptions are?
Oil is oil and grease is grease, right? That's one of the big ones.
Yep.
I mean, most people think as long as it's got something wet inside of it, it's going to work perfectly fine. But no, I mean, it's an engineered fluid, right? Perma creates an engineered solution, right? An engineered applicator. Well, what it's applying is an engineered fluid as well, whether it be an oil or a grease. So those still have to be specific for the application. The other thing, I mean, if we're talking about the application side, I grew up on a farm. I was taught that something didn't have grease in it until you saw grease pouring out of it. That still exists. We've got to break that mentality that if a little bit is good, a lot's got to be that much better. No, there is a prescribed amount that needs to be applied. It's very precise. If you go over lubricating something, that can be damaging. Under lubrication, definitely damaging. So making sure that we're breaking some of those stigmas. Same thing with the people that are actually doing the work. So many people view that as such a lower skill level, or hey, you don't know what's going on, I'm going to give you a grease gun. You can't really mess anything up. No, I mean, no one has as much reliability at their fingertips as the person that's going out there and actually using the lubricators, actually applying the lubricant or anything else. So that needs to be treated as a skilled position. There needs to be education with it. I mean, getting people certified, those are some of the stigmas I think we need to break.
Yeah. It's kind of like that fear. Like you see the technologies that are coming out right now, and people are like, are these going to replace workers? Are these going to take people's jobs? And we learned this week in the Industry 4.0 topic, it's like, no, these are going to enhance people, and the people that can grasp onto them, it's only going to make that much stronger. Yeah. And so I tie it back to our LoRa unit that we just came out with that has the dashboard, has the connectivity. Most people are like, oh, you're going to take our employee away. And it's like, no, we're going to make them more efficient. We're going to make it operate better. And not only that, now you can manage things on the back end as like an insurance policy. It's like, okay, I see what's going on. And so it's just how we have to adapt our mindset in just such fast-paced moving world.
Oh, yeah. It's constantly changing. We've all seen like the hype curve for technology, right? I mean, so many things go this way, right? I mean, whenever we talk about AI, right? AI is going to take everyone's job, right? It's high on the hype curve. It's going to be able to do everything. On the back end side of it, it's like, all right, what's it really going to be used for? The both data analysis, things like that. Fantastic, right? AI is not going away, right? I mean, and it's not about taking jobs. It's about empowering people, right? They said the same thing about automobiles. That automobiles, it's going to be so deadly to drive and everything else, and no one should ever use them. And now we can think without a car. So these technological revolutions, they all come together. Industry 4.0, if you want to call it that, in terms of data driven, then Industry 5.0 with more automation and stuff. I mean, it's just going to keep going.
Yeah. You brought up cars, and I'm going to tell a little funny story real quick. But at once, the car had that perception about it. It was like, oh, God, you're going to let somebody in that, control it, whatever. I just got into a car that didn't even have a driver in it a month and a half ago. Yeah. And it was the craziest experience. But again, it's adapting the industry. And so it's really cool to see those evolutions. So like talking about evolutions and Industry 4.0, if you were to go into a facility and they're doing everything manually right now, where would you start, or what would you start to implement to kind of transition to an Industry 4.0 mindset or like vision for it?
So we'll just hypothetically, everything is manual, and everything could be manual if you wanted to, but it's more labor intensive for sure. But where I would start with them to say, all right, if we're going to move away from manual lubrication, sometimes is very synonymous with like reactive maintenance, things failing. So we need to move up that scale to where now we're doing things that are more data driven, right? All right, what are the bad actors? What are the machines that are causing you the most problems? Let's look at those first and foremost, and then say, what's the nature of those failures? Because that kind of guides what type of data you want to extract from those machines. It could be oil analysis data, it could be vibration data, it could be temperature data. I mean, there's a lot of different things there. But then, all right, in terms of manpower, which ones consume the most manpower? Because that's ripe for automation right there, especially the places where it may be dangerous to get to, places we can't get to very often, something. Man, that's fantastic places to start. So those are the places where I would guide people to look at first. I mean, if it's hot, if it's hard to get to, odds are manual lubrication's not getting done. I mean, let's be honest here, right? So if we're going to improve the lifespan of that asset, that's a great place to start.
Yeah. And I think you put it on those assets or those critical things that maybe are causing problems or they're really expensive. You put it on those. So that way it gives you the okay, like, all right, this solution is working. Like, maybe we're not having as many bearings go out in this area. Maybe this motor's lasting longer, whatever it is. But it gives them the buy-in because they're like, okay, if it's working on our worst or most expensive things, then we can trust it to start implementing it elsewhere.
Yeah, I would say very few people are willing to trust it on their most expensive things, but that's also probably where they could have a huge payoff if they get over that little bit of fear, right?
Yeah. They talk about early adopters and then late bloomers or whatever.
You got early adopters, early majority, late majority, and then laggards.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's cool with LoRa. I'm going to keep bringing it up because it is something that's so big and changing in the industry that we play in here at Perma. But it's really interesting to see those early adopters to the technology and how much the word spreads about the single point lubricant, like organically. And so it's really cool to see it that the people who are in on the forefront of it are now like, hey, you guys got to think of this. And other plants are talking to each other to bring them in to see the product and solution for it.
And I mean, the more connected devices you have, the better it can learn what's going on. Machine learning is a big deal, and that's nothing new. It's been around forever. And the larger data set now becomes more prescriptive, makes people, stay in that optimum lubrication realm a lot better. That's a great way to be.
Yeah.
That's where we want to be.
Yep. Kind of to wrap this up a little bit in the conversation, and again, really appreciate your time. Had a great time talking to you, not only on here, but elsewhere that we've been this week. What is your advice for young professionals entering the reliability field today, and maybe even some like mindset approach that they could take?
Sure. I've been fortunate to be able to work with some really smart people and have been able to talk with some thought leaders and people that have been in the industry a long time. And one common thread that they all say, right? If you're a new reliability engineer or a young professional coming up in the space, don't be afraid to leave your desk, get out in the field, be around the machines, walk with the people that you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so important. You start to understand from their aspect, what are the machines that are giving us the problems? What are the problems that we're facing? It may not even be machine related. It could be operational issues, budget issues. Maybe the tools that they're using are antiquated. They don't work for what they need to be doing. So getting out there and keeping your eyes open, I think that's fantastic. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to ask questions. One thing is true in the reliability field and maintenance in general is it is a good community. And it's not just like in your facility. I mean, there's a lot of networking organizations out there, trade shows, things like that, where you interface with other people in the same realm and they are sharing and willing to share what has worked for them, what doesn't work for them, what solutions works well, what partners they have utilized, what they like, what they don't like. I mean, they are very open and willing. So get out in the network and obviously the community and start to talk to people. Those are two big things that I would encourage them to do.
Yeah, I love that. Connection and making relationships. I mean, I was completely new to this space a year and a half ago, and it's crazy all the knowledge I get from being able to talk to you and my peers here at Perma, but also learning from, our distributors and end users of just the space. It was so foreign. So it's really cool to see it evolve. I'm excited to, I would say, be on the forefront of Industry 4.0 in the space that we play in. But really appreciate you jumping on the podcast today. And everyone go and check out Noria, and we will be back with another episode of Perma Power Talk.